Hey friends, I'm all dolled up right now because I'm filming a Stacy Quasar segment all day. And for those of you who don't know who Stacy Quasar is, she's a character I came up with for the Adler Planetarium's YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm taking a little break and I'm going for a walk through the forest and I'm gonna answer some of your questions that you asked. Okay, look at this really cool hole in this tree. It's kind of fun. And this seems like a great place to answer my first question. A lot of you asked about my process for writing music, and I guess I would say that it differs. So it definitely depends on the song. Sometimes if I have a song that the lyrics are really important, then I'll do the lyrics first and then come up with like melodies to go with it. So I do that for a lot of the music I write for the Adler. Okay, a runner just ran by and I got so embarrassed for filming myself that I pretended to be on the phone. Oh, here comes another person. Okay, I think I'm good now. Anyway, I come to the forest to be alone and there's all these people out here. It's a beautiful day. But sometimes I have music that comes to my head first. Usually rhythm first because I'm a drummer, so that pops into my head first and then I'll kind of come up with music and harmonies around it. And I'll hear things in my head before I play them and figure out what they are, if that makes sense. For the Work to Do song, you know, there's actually kind of a silly story behind that. That rhythm, that's actually based off of a different song I wrote back in college. The lyrics are actually really naughty and I'm not going to tell them to you, but it was a game we would play where we would try and think of all different ways to rhythmically say the same line over and over again. And then those four rhythms were like what were my go-to, which is like, I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't really want to do the work today. I don't want to do the work today. So obviously I took that idea of that song and then the naughty song from college, and then I made it into the not naughty song for Zazzy and Firebringer. I'm tired. Okay, I just walked by another person and you know that thing that happens when you walk by somebody and you go to say hi, but it like doesn't come out, so you go, hi. That's what just happened to me. I just did that. Look how pretty these treetops are. This seems like a great place to answer another question from y'all, which is, am I gonna be in any more Starkid shows? So I got the same question back in November when I did a little Q&A, and I have the same answer. Back then I was working on Christmas Carol, so I just did Christmas Carol, which is the last show that Starkid really did. And anytime any of my friends wanna do something and I'm available and it's like in the city of Chicago, I will absolutely do it. The answer is always gonna be yes, as long as I can. A lot of Starkid shows recently have been performed in LA and I don't live there. Okay, look how pretty the sun is coming through these leaves. It's one of my top 5 favorite things to look at with my eyes. This seems like a great place to answer another question, which is, how am I feeling about my career in general? You know, this has been a really weird year for anyone in the performance industry, obviously. Chipmunk? Let me see. Okay, there's a chipmunk over there somewhere. But anyway, it's just been a weird year and a lot of us haven't gotten many auditions or a lot of work. I know I did not feel comfortable doing any kind of in-person film shoots or anything, but I've really, really enjoyed being able to make my own content, both for the Adler Planetarium's YouTube, for friends' digital shows, and you know, even just making these vlogs and these videos has been really fulfilling and fun for me. Okay, the chipmunk's definitely still hiding. I am gonna start performing again soon. I have rehearsals starting up on Sunday for an improv show, so it'll happen. Look at this perfect little bench in the middle of the forest. This seems like a great place to answer another question. A lot of folks want to know if I have any plans for Pride. And I guess I don't really. I think Market Days is still happening in Chicago this year, but I don't know if I'm ready to be in that crowded of a group of people yet. But at the end of the month, I'm going on a trip with Brian and then 3 of our friends, so that's gonna be fun. I don't think those are really Pride plans though, but they're my plans that I'm most excited about in June. Okay, look at this weird thing. This seems like a great place to answer another question of yours. And I got some questions just about our wedding in general. Somebody asked about our wedding dress code. Somebody else asked about why we don't wear wedding rings, and I guess I can just answer both. We did not have a dress code for our wedding. I did not do a white dress. I did kind of like a sage green dress. There was no real code. And then when we invited our guests, we told them the kind of theme behind our wedding was like Bilbo's 111th birthday meets Pride and Prejudice meets Mamma Mia. So folks dressed accordingly. I had a few friends dress up as though they were from the movie Mamma Mia. Then we had a few friends dress up. Jim Povolo dressed like a wizard. Darren dressed like a hobbit. So some folks took it real serious, which I loved. So the reason that we don't wear wedding rings is definitely a me thing. I kind of wanted to avoid having any traditional gender rules or roles in the wedding. So I didn't like the idea of a man purchasing a expensive ring to ask me to marry him. And Brian has known this forever. And I also don't like the idea of wearing something that symbolizes I'm married. I like to be treated as an individual. Anybody out there who does want a ring or has a ring or has like designed a ring with your partner, anything like that, I think it's a beautiful tradition that I don't feel super connected to. So we don't have rings, but we did make bracelets. I made bracelets for everybody in the wedding party, and June helped me, and then June made my wedding bracelet. I'm actually wearing it right now. We also like wood burned little messages and said like I love you, and we would write the person's name and stuff into the beads. We got rid of all the other gender stuff. I asked all the vendors to please not call me a bride. The one thing Brian really wanted, he did want to be there at the front and be able to watch me come down the aisle, because that was just something he felt really connected to and really wanted to experience. So like the way we ended up doing it was our wedding party went down, and then Brian went down with both of his parents, and then I came right behind him with both of my parents. So we made some compromises, which is great, and it ended up being so perfect. Look at this huge rock. It's so big and beautiful. Look, see, that's my foot for scale. This seems like a great place to answer another question, which a lot of folks asked about anxiety with performance and auditions and how to cope with it. And I do think I have some good advice for what works for me, at least. So I'm a little hippy dippy woo woo, and I really like to meditate before a big audition. And I do visualize myself performing the audition, and I will continue to visualize it over and over again until in my head I do it perfect. And when I do it perfect in my head, I really try to feel the appreciation that I would feel in that moment after doing the audition. This is like for big auditions. So I had an audition for SNL. That's the biggest audition I've ever had in my life. Didn't get it, that's okay. But I did so much meditating, and I had like little good luck charms like in my pockets. I was wearing my Michigan earrings. Also, just to clarify, this is actually past the audition stage. This was a screen test for Saturday Night Live, like on the stage and everything. But anyway, I had this moment where they brought me back into one of the dressing rooms, and they said like, here, just take 5 minutes. They were really nice there. They were like, everything was, this is your moment, this is your big day, no matter what happens, like you're here for a reason. And like I was totally feeding off that energy. And so I had a moment in the dressing room where I stared at myself in the mirror, and I like connected with my younger self, and I was like, think of all the nights your little ass sat and watched Saturday Night Live and how much that inspired your choices for the whole rest of your life and brought you to this moment. And I like really felt like, you know, have y'all ever watched Avatar: Last Airbender? But you know when Aang like goes to the Avatar state and then like his past selves like appear? That's what I felt like. I felt so grounded and just really focused when the person came in and said like, okay, they're ready for you, and I walked onto that stage. It was like so much more powerful, and like I felt so ready. Yeah, so if you can set aside moments for yourself like that for really big auditions, for the smaller ones, like if you are doing commercial auditions 3 or 4 times a week, I think it's okay to disconnect yourself and say like, if I don't hear back from this, that's fine. The last piece of advice I'll give you is muscle memory. Which is practicing your lines out loud over and over and over again, because your muscles in your mouth will remember the lines sometimes before your brain will, if your mouth is used to saying them a ton. And then you can use physical memory, quicker than your mind memory, because our mind memory is the first to go sometimes when we get anxious. Like, we'll just draw a blank. But if you can like find a position to stand that helps trigger your muscle memory, whether it's like, okay, I know when I stand like this, then I start my monologue or whatever it is, that really, really helps me. The rest of the questions I got were either like little small ones that there are so many different little small ones, like what's your favorite animal? That I think it's just hard to pick them and answer them. But I will say my favorite animals are penguins and mice. Another big question I got was, how do I style my curly hair? And I actually get that question a ton. So I was thinking I could make a little video about it. It's a little outside of my wheelhouse to make a hairstyle video, but maybe I'll make it silly. I don't know. Does that sound fun? Does it sound like something that you might like? Ooh, cardinal. Can you see this? Oh, shit. Oh, look. I also got some questions that I actually answered in my last Q&A video. So if you want to watch that, you can learn more about my feelings on gender, my story with Brian, how we got together, how I got into working for the Adler Planetarium and doing space science content. There's somebody behind me, so I'm just gonna play it cool and say that the only other thing that a lot of people were asking about was our doggy update. And if you watch the last vlog that I made, you can see the story of Buggy, and you can also learn kind of about our plans for a doggy. But basically, we're gonna start looking again very seriously in July. Thanks for watching. I hope it didn't make y'all too nauseous by filming myself while walking and talking. Okay, give me feedback on that if you want. And I hope you're enjoying your summers, unless you're in a place where it's winter right now. Okay, bye.